So I was talking to a friend of mine today and he asked, what did your wife do just before she had the baby? I said, well, she screamed, fuck, and then a little poo came out. And he said, no, I meant work-wise. I said, okay, she was a bookkeeper. Welcome to Shave&Butcher. Today we're going to do a shave that has been requested by a few people. I very rarely get requests that are decent, so we're doing this one. Quite a few people have asked for it. We're doing a comparison shave. Yeah, I know, but we are between the Weck Sextoblade and the Feather Artist Club DX. So these are my two shavettes, if you will, although they're not shavettes. But this is an Artist Club razor and this is a Weck. The Artist Club takes special blades, feather blades. These are Feather Professional Super or Super Professional, the sharpest ones. And you know, you can see the length of them. I won't take them out because it takes me half an hour to get them in again. But that's what we're doing. The Weck is a funny looking instrument. This is a med prep. There are different kinds of Wecks and different kinds of Weck Sextoblades. This is the med prep, so it has the whatever it is, United States Army, is it? Medical thing? Anyway, and this is with a Kismet blade. You can have original Weck blades, you can have Persona hair shaper blades, I think. Yeah, you can. And you can have Kismet blades. My favorites are the Kismet blades. Teflon coated stainless steel German shebang. Soap is none other than OSP, Obsessive Soap Professional, out of England, Urban Viking, which is a take on Dior's Eau Sauvage. And we have the matching Splashily Splash, and we have Grey Dog brush made out of a piece of wood, which is maple, and it has a full moon synthetic knot. No reason to procrastinate. Face is bewetted. This is a synthetic brush, so it doesn't need to soak, but it does need to be wet. If you have a natural hair brush such as horse, boar or badger, it has to, or it should really soak for a while. So squeezed the water out of that and shook it twice to try and get an approximately good amount of lather. This is a good soap. The gentleman who makes them has made soaps for quite some time. I have another one, which is a Fougère. So brush was dry, and this works. It's super dry. You get it loaded anyway. I am still gonna put just a teeny bit of water in there. I don't know if you can see, to just lubricate the whole loading process. Goes a bit quicker. You get a bit more soap onto the brush. This is a soap I criminally overload very often, so I'll try not to do that. Sometimes I think about other things and I want a big lather, so I load for a minute, and that's no good because this is a soap that does not require loading for a full minute. You can quite probably load for 10 seconds and that will be just fine. It's a nice smell. Took a little bit of getting used to, but I'm extremely conservative on it. No, conservative is the wrong word. When I find a scent I like it quite a bit, and this is a perfume scent. So it takes a bit of getting used to before I like it. You know, I told you Frank Stromberg sent me 6 different vetiver perfumes, and that was really an eye-opener in terms of, wow, there are different kinds of the same thing. So I've loaded the soap well enough. Now I'm working in water. I have yet to put too much water into this soap. I'm sure you can. Well, obviously you can, because if you put a teeny bit and you put 15 liters of water, that's going to be too much water. So obviously you can put too much, but I have yet to do that. So you can be quite generous with the water. If I'm perfectly honest, I find soaps that you can kill, where you can kill the lather. So by kill, I mean get the volume out of it by adding too much water. If you're adding a reasonable amount of water, I find that quite annoying. So soaps you have to, well, us the soaping nerds call it dial in. Okay, that could be interesting. But wet shaving with a shavette is hard enough as it is. You don't need the soap you have to torture. I mean, sometimes it's nice just to have a soap which is that has no brain, or you need to have no brain, like the traditional American artisan soap. You don't need. I know they're different and everything, but you really don't need skill to build a good lather. It'll come anyway. It's prepared for you. It's like sliced cheese. So sometimes that is nice. Sometimes it's nice to do a bit of exercise, like Mitchell's Wool Fat is a good one. You don't fail a lather if you pay a little bit of attention, but you do need to concentrate, so it's not going to come automatically like a PAA or Ariana Nevins or Sigari Man or those soaps where you get a perfect lather, or Moon Soap or Spearhead, that we've tried recently, Southern Witchcraft. Those are phenomenal soaps where the lather is going to be, if you're rubbish or don't pay attention, you're going to get a good lather. If you have a bit of, you don't really need skill, but if you pay a bit of attention, put a bit of an effort, you're going to have a spectacular lather. This one is no challenge to load either. This is very much like the soaps I mentioned, although it's English. So the nerdiness of the last 3 minutes is just trying to get it sort of perfect. Here I'm not trying to build a big lather, and I really shouldn't, because I have short blade shavettes where you should have a really thin lather, because otherwise it gets annoying. But I still do want to hydrate it properly, and I did load. You saw me, I didn't load for very long. What did I load for? 20 seconds? And you still get, I can make this really big if I want to. I don't, right now I'm trying to get a good amount of hydration. That's all I'm trying to do. It's looking pretty good, smelling good too. Yeah, looks good. Okay, put a bit of water in. This is a ridiculous amount of water. Ridiculous. Ridiculoso. C'est le ridicule. Okay, so one side of the face, the Weck, one side of the face, the Artist Club, and Artist Club on the right side, left side that we shave with the right hand. Third use on the Weck as well. And it's not a coincidence, because the first two shaves with both these blades are aggressive. Okay, so I have a weeper there and a weeper there since yesterday, so that may bleed. I'm just saying, you know, I did it yesterday. Is that an excuse? Not really, because I was an idiot yesterday. Not a cut, but big weepers. So this razor has tremendous balance. It has fantastic weight to it. Not super heavy, but it has a okay, you know you have a good moisture content in the leather when you don't have to flick the razor, it just falls off when you're speaking. Gee, that is a good leather. This is such a good soap. Oops, yeah, I opened that one. And I can't remember where the other one is. With these blades, even if it's the third use, if you have anything like a bump, it will open up. It will open up. This is like a tank, precision tank. Oh, no, we're not doing that because we're doing another razor on that side of the face. So this just breathes. What am I doing? It's going to be a bloodbath. I don't even know where that blood came from. This thing just breathes and smells like Japanese precision work. Now, you have two Artist Club razors. One is from Feather, and they're both Japanese. One is called the SS and one is called the DX. This is the DX. It's about twice the price, so it is a bit posh. It shaves approximately in the same way. It just feels a little bit better. It feels fantastic on the face. This Weck with the Kismet blade is quite a heavy razor because it has these stainless steel scales. Now, I think that if you're holding the razor like this, like a traditional normal person, you may find this a bit heavy. So, but there are other Wecks and other Weck Sextoblades with plastic scales where the balance is perhaps a little bit better. This is made for literally made for a hospital where you want things not to break, basically. I suspect a stainless steel tool might be easier to sanitize, get free from bacteria and so on. I like the look of this, and since I hold it like a dumb person, like a bread knife sort of thing, it doesn't matter that it's a little bit heavy on the scales. But if you're getting your work, you don't have to get this med prep or surgical prep. You can get a normal Sextoblade or a Weck Junior, which I haven't tried. Dave Card has a few. So if the leather's right, you can flick it off. You don't have to rinse it off. So that's when the leather's good. I'm doing nothing that just falls off. My God. you're watching some good stuff. You're watching blood also. That's part of it. It's supposed to look like the Swiss flag or the Danish flag or whatever. It's just one wound though, or maybe two. Yeah, that's an old one too. Yeah, there you go. So how are they different? Well, double-edge safety razor shavers often talk about blade exposure, and with these babies you sure can talk about blade exposure. So this thing creeps out, I don't know, 3 millimeters or so. It's the blade underneath there. With this thing, most of the blade sticks out, and yeah, it makes the Weck quite similar to a straight razor in terms of feel when you shave. Frank borrowed my Japanese Swedish steel Frameback razor, and he said the Frameback is like a big brother to the Weck. The Weck's big brother sort of thing. And that's quite true, or I find that to be quite true. Because the Frameback has a blade, a separate blade, which sits in a blade holder. So it looks a bit like this. It's prettier, because the Weck, to be honest, isn't very pretty. And the blade doesn't have a grind to it. It's straight down, much like a Weck blade. This thing is going to bleed for a while. In terms of shaving experience, it's different, but the Weck is closer to a straight razor, I would say. I don't know if you agree, if you've tried both. Yep, right razor, right side of the face. Sorry about the blood, guys. Both razors, in my experience, will cut you when the blade is very sharp, when it's new. This is shave number 3, so it could still happen. And B, when you're not paying attention. Wow, that's bad. One interesting thing is that although the blade exposure of the Weck is enormous, you get more of a blade feel with the Artist Club razor. I can't explain why. That's just the way it is. That's not a small dent. I shaved last night and still this morning it was bleeding. So, okay. For aesthetic reasons I could have waited to do the shave. I've got another one there. Slightly smaller. This is a big opening. That's not going to close anytime soon. Huh. Right. Since I pull the skin taut when I go upwards, I need to re-lather on the neck. I'm so sorry about the blood. I may end up doing another. That's a big one too. I should do another one, another comparison without the blood. I'm really sorry. bloody mess. Yeah, it's a big opening. It's a big cut. It's not a weeper, it's a cut. God. I could feel this one. That one, no, not so much. Okay, Weck against the grain. I have to say the Weck is smoother. It's incredible. I've never shaved anything like it. Well, the closest thing is a super well made, really sharp and smooth straight razor. Okay, so I'm not the best chevette or straight shaver in the world, but I'm quite experienced. And I'm still bleeding. Okay, that's from yesterday. It was a boo-boo yesterday. This I think is from today actually. There's another one and there's one. So there you go. Just because you have experience doesn't mean you always get bloodless shaves. But this one and that one doesn't bother me. I get those all the time, the first 5 shaves for this one. That's an error and that's, God knows what happened. But it can still be a good shave. Now, there's a difference in price as well. There you go, I think it's a wrap. Feather Artist Club, you can buy new, so I obviously should have checked what the prices are, but the DX is quite pricey. The SS is not cheap either. The Weck is vintage. It hasn't been made for quite some time, so you can find them on eBay in America, because they're made in New York, or they were made in New York. I found mine in Germany actually. You can fits different blades. I like the Kismet blades, but you can shave with different blades for sure. Just gonna rinse cold down here. Yeah, this is not gonna stop anytime soon. We're gonna put pieces of toilet paper on it. Old school. Short of a band-aid, which I'm not putting on my face. That's the best approach in my opinion. Okay, aftershave. But seriously, try out the OSP soaps. They are really good. Okay, let's have a feel then. Let's see what damage we did. There's blood everywhere. In terms of closeness, it's very similar. It really is. And that's been my experience always. So, Weck is less expensive than the DX. I prefer the Weck, I have to say. God, I'm doing a good job here. This is professional wet shaving technique. The Artist Club is a joy to use. It really is, because of the precision in the handiwork. And you can choose different blades. Well, you can the Weck too. And I've used Kismet blades predominantly. I can't remember what I thought about the Persona blades, to be honest. Is that bleeding? Yeah. So don't shave with shavettes because you're gonna bleed. But which one would I choose? Well, I choose both really. But if I had to pick one to keep, I'd keep the Weck. It hurts me, and today was horrible. Although it looks like most of the cuts were actually the artist club. Is that blonde? I think it might be. Is that blonde? No, it's okay. So yeah, there you go. Comparison shave, and shave with shavettes. They're super smooth. You never get any blood in your shave. Just take it easy, and they just run around the face, and you get BBS with no cuts or weepers. It's fantastic. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got something out of that. I got a clean shave. That's something. Guys and gals, stay sharp.